Should I close my eyes or anything?
No,
Close your eyes.
I nominate, right?
Let's move. Let's do that at new business.
Okay.
Let's do,
Okay,
yeah, let's do that at new business.
all right.
All right. Approval of consent calendar items, the monthly member report.
Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're marking time here pretty well with membership until we get to the end of December, when we have to make some decisions regarding people for whom we still don't have dues. You know, we know about Frank and Gloria leaving town. They paid for a half year's worth of dues, so they'll drop out at the end of December. The other was a straight swap. Hall never did pay. But I'm worried about Ed and Charlotte and Dr. Plotner, George Weir, and Trent White, all of whom have been loyal Votarians for a long, long time. And we just haven't heard much from all of them, except for Trent, who was so incredibly busy with the desk project. It's hard to imagine him. And he said he continues to, you know, want to participate and do stuff. It's just a mystery as to why we haven't gotten dues from these people. I don't really want to drop them.
Yeah, well, he saved us more money than that he would have paid in dues.
Yeah, for that one individual, and the other folks, it's not gonna, I don't think it'll hurt very much to keep them and trust that they'll renew when it's time to renew for a whole nother year. But I don't really see much harm in avoiding the dropping them from membership and possibly losing them forever. I just don't feel good about that.
But what about Hall? You said that he,
Well, he just disappeared. When his project got dropped from the planning commission and all that, he just left town. No communication, no contact numbers, no forwarding email or mail or anything, just boom, he's gone.
and Chirito says he still opens Centerview, but I guess for me, that is concerning. That would be the one that, for me personally, I would say, I mean, I agree with you on the rest. Dr. Plotner.
Unless you guys direct me otherwise, I'll drop Hall and leave the other ones in there until we can figure out.
Well, that's just my opinion. Let's get the rest of the board's input too.
I agree.
I think he's hit and run.
Yeah. And I know Dr. Plotner's been real back and forth too, as far as at least attendance.
Yeah, and there's kind of like an awareness issue, you know, when is one of his sibling, maybe his daughter, or, you know, somebody figures out that the dues haven't didn't get paid. It's a, oh my God, how did that happen moment? Then they emergency send a check kind of a thing. That's been going on for a couple of years. So It isn't, the intention isn't there. I just think that as we get a little more senior, our ability to track things goes away. And
I know that how that
these
feels.
people probably, except for Trent and maybe George, are probably unaware of the fact that it never got done.
Yeah.
Ron, are you still meeting with George weekly?
Well, he has a weekly invitation to join the hikes that I've been going on, and I've been going on about half of them. He goes about one every 6 times, so I don't see him weekly.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to call, I've got Ron Hall's private number, Randall. And
Yeah.
And so I'm going to call him and George and at least see what their perspective is on the coming.
And I'll try
so
calling.
Vaughn, when you talk to him, I think it's correct to talk about just paying $200 and skipping the facility fee. There's no reason to collect it now, even though we did that at the start of the Rotary year. We just didn't know we weren't going to be using it. But I don't think there's any point in collecting it now. So dues would be for the entire year, 200.
Okay, and somebody's going to talk to White.
I will do that.
And I'll call Ed Gallo again, see if I can reach him.
Okay.
Is anybody close with Charlotte?
Well, here's what's weird about that. I mean, Keith and Chirito actually had an appointment with her to go out and visit and deliver her roster. And when they got there, she was AWOL. And so, you know, that was kind of a mystery we couldn't quite figure out. But I think she and Dave Plotner probably fall in the same category of awareness.
Okay.
But I mean, that's a woman who spent like 20, 25 years being the treasurer of the club. You just don't make quick moves with somebody like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so is that wrapped up to everyone's satisfaction?
Yep.
All right,
Thank you all.
treasurer report.
Never got one that I looked back through all my stuff. I don't think we got it yet.
Go ahead,
But I
Bill.
do have an update on Dan. He's going in for tendon repair surgery sometime in the middle of next week. While wearing his boot that was supposed to protect him, he had a weird fall and ended up rupturing a tendon. So,
My gosh.
yeah, club finances might not be the uppermost thing on his mind right now.
I would guess with no money coming in and no money going out, it's unchanged from last month.
Yeah.
Bill?
Very little money coming in, very little going out. Every now and then there's something, but that's about it.
Okay.
Fine job, Bill.
All right, action on items removed from consent calendar. Since we didn't remove any, we can move on. Staff reports, update on desk project.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I know how to do this. Yeah, I do. The question was, how do I get that page off my screen? Because there's something here I want to read to you. And it's from Kimberly Israel, who is our district liaison for the desk distribution. We actually dropped off all of those desks a week ago yesterday at the district maintenance yard. And so I did a follow-up this morning to see if they needed any help with distribution, given they just announced they're going all virtual until the middle of January because of COVID influxes. So this is what she says. I wanted to let you know that the desks were so incredibly well received when they arrived at the sites. The principals and family liaisons were so very appreciative and shared with me that they were truly impressed with how well they were built and what an incredible gift they are for our families. Just wanted to send that along so you and your team know what an impact you made on so many families during this holiday season. That's Rotary. And so we done good, guys. We done good.
Excellent.
Hey, Ron, this is Roy. I have one question. I was there helping build the desk, but and we did 100 of them. How was it decided who gets them or who's most deserving? Because that's a small percentage of the student population.
Well, it's an extremely small percentage. It's like 18,000 kids. So,
Right.
That's why they went through the parent liaisons at each of the schools, because they know the families and the ones that have the greatest need. And in my experience with the district, when you get to that point, you have a whole bunch of kids that have great need. Then you start rewarding performance. So in terms of citizenship and, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's the usual routine for doing it. I mean, and if you get down to where you can't discriminate between 3 or 4 families whose needs are equal, you pull something out of a hat, you flip a coin. It's
see.
just that kind of thing. But that said, if something comes around where there's still even greater need, it might be good for the club to visit this thing and maybe find a way to build some more.
Ron, do you have pictures of people who got kids who got these desks with this desk? Like anybody, any photographer was there?
I'm sorry, Alex, I didn't quite get that.
Are there any pictures of the desks being delivered to families?
I do not have them yet, but I did ask. For
Can
them.
you please get them if they're available? That I can in grant proposals.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that you get, just like load on a Google Drive and share it with me, please. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, we can build
But
another
anyway,
1,000.
if we have a will to do that, we can work to find funding somewhere, and I'd be happy to lead it again.
I can write like a quick get on a grant for that particular project, but I need pictures and I need from you detailed description, what we do, how we do it, that I can put it together and
Sure.
send it
That'd be
like next
very
week
easy.
maybe.
Very easy to do. I'd be glad to work with you on that.
Let's do that. Okay, get me all materials, please. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Board Secretary, do you have anything to report?
No report.
All right. Treasurer, do you have anything to report? Hearing nothing. Eric is gone. Chirito, do you have anything to report?
Nothing here.
Okay. Alex, do you have anything to report?
The grant checks that the grants that we awarded to people, checks are out, and we're receiving the thank you letter, very nice letters. So I'm collecting them, and I would like to scan these letters and to be emailed to every member of our club, that every Rotarian knows who got money from us last year, and read their thank you notes and their letters. Can we arrange that, please?
Absolutely. Can you work with Charito
Okay.
on that?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
Maybe
you.
one each week with the Centerview, so they keep pushing it out.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we can attach one letter to Centerview each week. Yeah. Sherry, are you there?
I heard
think she
Charito.
can. Okay.
He's on.
Okay. I'm gonna contact her about that. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like maybe she dropped off. I don't see. Oh, there she is. No, she's there. Okay. All right. All right. International service. Colleen, anything to report?
We have decided to spend our money.
Yay.
So we have a bunch of different projects. If anybody wants a detailed list, I can go over it, but it'll be long. But we're excited, and they range from, across the world to helping build a house in Tijuana. And we want to do $500 from contingency for 1,000 smiles.
Okay.
And that's it.
Do we need them? Are you asking us to approve that?
No, I don't think I need an approval because it's still within my budget.
Is it in contingency?
Yeah, it's in contingency.
If it's over 300, the board has to approve it when it's repurposed.
Okay, yeah, it's still in contingency. So,
So-
contingency expenditure, $500 to 1,000 smiles. And we did the same thing last year.
So I think what I'm hearing Mike say is even though it's in your contingency fund, we still need to approve it.
Okay, yes, then.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
a second?
Sorry, who moved and who seconded?
I seconded Mike.
And Ron made the motion.
All right. All in favor of repurposing $500 from international service contingency to 1,000 smiles, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. No one sounded like a horse on that one.
I'm texting them right now.
So, and Colleen, can you just put together a summary in an email of the project so that we can distribute that too?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Remember the ones that are carryovers that we set up, they weren't fully funded?
Yeah, I'm still tracking those. And as soon as they're fully funded, I will make sure that you know immediately.
Great.
Beautiful. So International Foundation, I have a report from Christine. We have 6 members of the new Polio Plus Society. 6 members of our club are in the District 5340 Polio Plus Society. That would be Christine Montan, Pizza Bill Smith, Keith Rickenbacker and Charito Rickenbacker, Johnny Watson, and Bernie Blaney. Anyone can join the District 5340 Polio Plus Society for a donation of $100 a year, designated for Polio Plus.
Okay, so what happens if you sign up at RI instead of with the district for the same thing?
I do not know.
Okay, I don't either, but
Let me
It's
address
the
that.
same. It's counted the same whether you, because this project was started by that 26, 27 Pacific Coast or whatever it
For the
is.
zone?
You go through RI and it's still counted into the polio society.
And actually I saw Bernie's email on that, and I think, and I know that Charito, you've done it, so this is no doubt on you, but that's just reinforcement that I think that is accurate, because Bernie's email came from RI. So
Yes.
okay. She also says it's not too late to make a donation to the annual fund of Rotary Foundation for the 2020 charitable tax year deduction. Donate online or sign up for Rotary Direct. So that's Christine's report. Mike, membership service.
I just want a little update on Krishna Cabra. I sent her all the membership materials that would go in a Rotary information meeting. And all she has to do at this point is sign two pages and send them back, and she will be official.
Okay.
But I guess she's still got to start with the red badge, even though she came in on the tails of another member.
Yeah, I want to bring that up under new business in a second. So.
That's all I have.
Huh?
That's all I have.
Okay. Vocational service, Larry.
As everyone knows, I think we finished the barrier painting on Grand Ave.
It
And
looks
next
amazing.
project-
It looked amazing. Thank you.
It does look,
Great.
it came out really well, and I think the mayor was happy even. And the next project, which is going to be painting these political signs, has been kind of put on hold for a couple of weeks because our fearless leader, Suzanne Nicolaisen, had surgery. So when she's recovered, we'll get back on that project.
Okay.
And I think that, I don't know, Ron, were the political signs delivered to ALOT?
Yeah, let me get what I've got to on the status of that. So I did speak with Diana Axelrod, and the signs were picked up, and the coordination was made to deliver those over to Chuck Ailing's shop last week. So I'm assuming that those got delivered, and he's going to hold those. I have a tentative meeting scheduled with Joanne Axelrod first part of January, where we're going to develop the kind of the schematic, the game plan of how we're going to go about getting the public involved, as well as Nicolaisen, on finding the people to paint those signs. And then we need to come up with some thematic material and a possible contest to encourage participation. So most of the planning will take place in the first part of January. And that's when we'll start targeting optional dates as to when we can actually kick this program off. Since it's going to be a celebration of healing and reawakening, we're going to have to wait until the public is going to buy in on that fact. And with the new upsurge, I'm not sure when that's going to be. But the signs are in storage, and we will develop the game plan for getting them coated with a white primer, and then also come up with some strategies to get the public identified, involved, and those who are going to be interested in painting the signs. I am looking to discuss with Joanne on where we're going to locate these. And my suggestion is going to be that we put the big ones along City Center Parkway and other areas of prime visibility with high vehicle traffic. And then the smaller ones will need to go in the parks and at residential areas that are highly visible. So that's kind of the big picture.
I have an idea for how to put the primer on them. Let's get a slip and slide, coat it with primer paint, and I'll just jump and slide down the slip and slide on both sides of the sign.
All right, you're hired.
You'll have to be COVID tested first.
Oh, damn it. Okay. All right. Anything else, Larry?
No, that's it.
All right. Laura, youth service.
Youth, I'm still looking for someone to head up the four-way speech contest. If anybody has any ideas, I don't have anyone to head that up right now. I don't know what kind of enthusiasm we'll see from the school district, but if we can find someone to head that up, we will at least try. Other than that, there's nothing else going on. It's kind of sounding like they're planning on still holding RILA in April. So we'll see if that actually happens. I guess everything's in limbo, just like it is everywhere else. we're trying to plan for things to happen, but whether they actually happen or not is going to be another story.
I think I would suggest, and this is based on nothing, no volunteer concept, but I would suggest Paulette maybe might be willing to do the four-way speech. And if not her, maybe Leila Sackfield would. I mean, they still have connections to the schools, right?
And I suppose it could be done on Zoom when we get down to the finalists.
Right?
Well, it's not going to be Paulette because she's had a lot of really large projects, and I did tap her to help my church with a Lego project, and she had some really large projects coming up.
Okay.
So my sense is that she's not available for it, but I will ask her anyway. She may have some ideas on how to get it done, but I'll reach out to Leila as well. Thank you. Thank you
Those
for
are
the
just
suggestion.
thoughts. Again, no one ever volunteered. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. Do we have any unfinished business? All right. Hearing none, I do have two pieces of new business that I'd like to get some feedback on. The first one has to do with red badges. Actually, Joe Parrish brought this to my mind because he is technically still a red badger. And as we sort of alluded to earlier, it's going to be hard for Krishna to do her red badge items. So I would like to see if there's any ideas on how, I mean, again, Joe has been writing it out as a red badger for however many years now. I think he joined the same year I did, so it'd be 4 years, right?
Yep.
But certainly everything he does, and with his desire to donate, I'd be inclined to offer him offer that he doesn't have to be a red badger anymore. But again, that doesn't resolve our issue of what do we do with anyone who does join in this very unique and wonderful year.
I think Joe could still do a Who Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would just reach out to him and have him make a video of it. Okay.
Or he could do it live at a meeting.
Missing.
How about Mike, you and me and anybody else that wants to can be a subcommittee. We can put together a little outline of what might work and then bring it back. Does that work for you, Andrew?
That does. And actually, I would suggest that maybe the mentor committee subcommittee would be a good location.
What? She already ate. She doesn't need lunch. She's a dog, not a puppy.
Oh, Colleen, you're not talking to us.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So Ron and Mike, yeah, maybe check in with Johnny and whoever else is on the mentoring subcommittee and see if they have ideas too, just so you don't have to carry the whole burden.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff's impossible without face-to-face.
Yeah.
But it does make sense to do some things to get to know a little bit about the club. And so we can come up with something that'll make sense. I'm sure we can.
You know, something we might do, Ron, just as an example, and I won't tie up everybody else with any more, that history of Escondido Rotary that Royce prepared.
I have that.
We could give that to all these people, just something they can read about our club and the history.
Yeah.
Maybe that substitutes for a district event. Just try to chop some stuff off and give them something that's more easily doable.
Okay.
Yep, we got this.
Okay. My second item I would like to get some feedback on is a little more challenging to consider. Do we have any liability? Do we have any responsibility, not liability, to reach out to programs like Haven House right now under the situation we're in to say, we really cannot be responsible for Haven House or to encourage, I mean, should we be sending our members out to do any more projects right now, whether it's desk building or Haven House or the political sign painting? Do we have a responsibility? Do we have do you understand what I'm trying to ask? Do we need to make a statement that maybe discourages public gathering as Rotarians?
Andy, I think we're duty bound to obey the restrictions that are given us by legally elected public officials. and to support that internally and publicly. And so if we look at those guidelines and it says Haven House isn't something that we should be doing because of the guidelines, then I think we just tell them.
Okay.
I wouldn't even leave it up to Kelly. My God, that woman has, given so much of her time and,
Right.
and presence and whatnot, but we can still offer them the money.
Right.
It would be, so we'll be still fulfilling our mission of making sure they have dinners. But if the guidelines say don't go there and cook right now, we ought not to.
Yeah. And I think that's what the guidelines say. Other than gathering outside, and even then there are significant restrictions. I think you're right, Ron. We have to abide by it.
So-
Unfortunately, though, the guidelines or the restrictions keep changing. So this is a 3-week pause, and so then we say for the next 3 weeks we don't do this, and then after
That's
that, it's
right.
okay. It's
Right.
not as simple
Yeah.
as just saying follow the guidelines, because even the guidelines aren't all that clear on some things. Like
You're absolutely right.
I don't
Andy, I
confer with the
think
mayor.
you need to take it from a standpoint of making a disclosure on any of the requests that we are not sponsoring any of these events as an organization. However, you as an individual are within your rights to volunteer or not volunteer, but this is not sponsored by us, sanctioned by us. We're simply providing information to each other, because you're right, the guidelines are constantly changing. Many of them are overreaching. It really becomes a personal decision as to whether or not people feel that they are within, their own personal
Safety zone.
Yes, and that is a personal decision. I have family members that are excessive on it because of their own anxieties, which is just fine, and others that are not, because they feel like they're taking the appropriate safety measures when they go out and they feel safe in the measures that they're taking. I think you have to leave that to personal choice, but just have a disclaimer on every communication that we are, as an organization, are not endorsing or encouraging them. However, it is their personal choice.
And I see two challenges with that. And I'm speaking personally here. This has nothing to do with the board. This is just me. Two challenges to that. If we are actually sending money to the Haven House instead of sending people to make dinner, but our members still want to make dinner, then where are they going to get the money to do that? Because if we spend our money, if we give our money to them to make the dinners and go feed the people, then we can say we're not sponsoring, but we are.
There are a lot of organizations that are making dinners in a safe manner without exposing the participants to anything. And so it really is a personal preference.
I get that part. What I'm saying though is, because I don't see how we can put out a blanket statement saying we don't endorse it, when in fact we are either going to provide money to Haven House or provide money to Kelly to feed Haven House. You see what I'm saying? I understand. I mean, to me,
this is Roy. Are you most concerned about legal liability? Somebody goes to Haven House.
No, actually, and that was actually this
back to the and they get sick and it comes back to the Rotary Club and say, well, yeah, I was pressured to go there and you're responsible for me getting sick. Is that?
No, I really don't see it that way. And that was actually the second component of what Laura was saying that does concern me. And I appreciate Laura's perspective, but I also, to me personally, as leaders of the community, we have a responsibility to lead, to set the tone, to set the dialogue. And to me, and I understand I have a different opinion than some people, it's not about a personal choice. It's about, we are in this together and we have a responsibility to protect ourselves and the people that we are around.
Yes, that's true, Andy, but in leadership, we don't leave people in need without resources.
Understood. So that's why we
Yeah.
can continue providing interface
funding,
with the
yeah.
money without encouraging our members, without allowing our members to actually go expose them or potentially expose themselves or expose actually the homeless people as well.
Yeah.
How about we put
It's
some
it's a tough one.
disclaimer?
I think we still have to provide the funding. I work Hope in the Streets,
Mhm.
and we're out there doing events every single month, but we're using all the PPP, we're using all of the safety mechanisms that we need to use. All of our members in Hope in the Streets that feel safe with that come out to work, and those that don't do things in the background to assist the initiatives. So, you know, and there's no pressure from anybody, any place as to what level of activity and involvement they're going to take on. But, you know, the Lord has put the mission on us to feed people and to clothe people. And so we continue to do that. And I think a lot of people will find the same thing. And I think we still need to fund it.
Alex, you were going to say something?
Yeah, each of us going to the food store takes a chance to get COVID, right? So we take responsibility for that and we assume the risks. So how about we just put a small formal disclaimer, whatever, that specifying that people take risks, assume the risks that goes with this activity, and that's it. So I don't see why would we make a big deal out of it. All of us taking risks, go get food, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, this is Roy again. I agree with Alex just said. You know, I know that we're giving them money, and legally, the exchange of money is a compelling argument that some sort of agreement or contract exists. So the fact that we're giving them money is different than walking into a retail store. So, well, like Alex says, we could just put a disclaimer, sign a disclaimer that says, yeah, you can take the money, but we're the club, Rotary Club, isn't responsible for how the consequences of the use of that money.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So, and by the way, Ron, I see your note, so I will come back to that. Here's what I need guidance on, and whether or not we need to make this a motion or a board decision. The first part of it is, do we trust Interfaith to let us know when it's not appropriate for us to be physically going to feed at Haven House? Do we trust them to let us know when all they want is the money instead of our people, like they did in the springtime? Or do we need to, as a board, say to Kelly Cloud or to Ron Smith if he wants to do another desk project, or to Larry Troutner when we want to do the political signs or another trash pickup? No, you cannot physically be in this space and putting yourself and others at risk as a Rotarian.
I think we should give choice to people, to individuals who would like to participate in these activities. We should not mandate, because it smells bad, like a bad government who tells people what to do. Just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Alex as well. Plus, it's an endless arguments going on for months of what is safe and what's not safe. You know, some people don't think it's safe to crawl out from underneath their kitchen table, and other people want to go out in society full bore. So to rely on one opinion on what's safe or not safe isn't really realistic.
And by the way, guys, I don't know if anybody would know, like we already got COVID and we're already over it and we immune. So I would be happy to go and prepare food there. I'm not afraid of it anymore. My immunity is gonna work for the next 5-6 months. So maybe we have other couple Rotary members who are in the same position. So that solves the problem right there. Just saying.
All right.
I want to
I agree with Alex's position too.
Hang
One
on.
exposure we might want to address would be that we get something from Interfaith.
And that was the first part of that question, is do we trust Interfaith to guide us?
Well, they have to realize our people are doing the best they can to keep things clean and sanitary, but
Right.
It's not our responsibility if somebody somehow passed along the virus.
But is it our responsibility to protect our members and or the homeless? But Colleen, you had a comment.
I just wanted to, sorry. I just wanted to point out that I really trust Interfaith as an organization. I'm sure that they're having this conversation and making sure that they're protecting their employees and volunteers and the population they serve. I'm 100% confident that they are doing the best they can and considering all the ramifications of every decision they're making. So I have a lot of faith in Interfaith. Number one. And number two, I think that making sure that our members, because it's such a fluid situation and things go up, they come down. The guidance is our responsibility to our members is to make sure that they have access to the most recent official guidelines from the county. And one way that we can do that, it would be just like having a disclaimer, like, if you're volunteering in Escondido and you're a Rotarian, please consult the latest county guidelines. And you can sign up for notices from the county on what those guidelines are by texting this number or going to this website. Just give them the information and tell them that as Rotarians, they need to be aware of it.
All right. And
Can I say a few words? So to you as a club president, my personal opinion, you should make every Rotarian who goes to volunteer there to sign the disclaimer, and that's gonna give you legal protection, and it also gonna inform every single person who go there of all risks that they take going there. So I say you just draft a little agreement, disclaimer, and let people sign it electronically or whatever. I would sign it.
okay. All right. Well, then I will not beat this dead horse. I unless someone has something else. But what I'm hearing is of the 14 and 13 in the room, because I'm here twice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 who've spoken up and said that we don't need to take an official position other than to maybe put together a disclaimer. And I can send that over to Kelly, at least for the upcoming dinners, and that we're going to trust Interfaith to let us know when and if it's not appropriate. Is that an accurate summation of what we just discussed?
I
Yes.
think we should add
Right.
to that.
Okay.
And that
Let me just add from the highway pickup effort, I get continuous emails from the state or the county advising me what the restrictions are. And I
Right.
tried to build that into a safety talk in the beginning of them. And I think it's, Sarita brought up here that whoever is the coordinator for that event really has a responsibility too, to make sure that they know the latest guidelines and keep the members who are going to participate informed of what those are.
Right.
And again, I will be honest again. My personal position is that responding to what the county and the state is saying is closing the barn door after the horse is out, because the upsurge we're seeing right now is from Thanksgiving and large gatherings, and people are going to be out shopping for Christmas. So I would, again, my position is that I think we should be ahead of the curve, but I also I hear what everyone else is saying. So that's fine.
I think we should include your statement of concern. I don't think it should just be we're leaving it up to individuals to use their good judgment and encouraging them to be aware of the situation. But I think a statement such as you're suggesting, that as a club organization, we fully support and encourage people to exercise caution. And so that we cover all three bases. It's not just, we trust this, we trust that. And so we're moving forward. I think you need to put out the cautionary statement because I think you have a legitimate concern.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So I will put that letter together and we don't need any further board action on that. The last piece of business, as Ron reminded me, thank God, We need to vote on our executive secretary. So does anyone nominate someone to be executive secretary for
I
20?
nominate Ron Smith, Bill Smith.
I
And I
campaign.
second.
I vote,
Jan,
I vote no. Campaign no, no on Smith.
Yes, on Smith.
Overruled.
All right, I heard a motion from Bill Smith. Did I hear a second?
Yeah, from
Second.
Jan.
Okay, from Jan. All right. All who are in favor of re-incarcerating Ron Smith as executive secretary, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ron, you didn't say nay.
Not a
Thank
term,
you.
it's a sentence.
I'm happy to serve. And
Awesome.
we now dotted the I.
All right.
Thank you.
And let me double check, but I think that should be it for this meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Hell yes.
Okay, a second.
Second.
All right, Alex seconds. Then we shall adjourn this meeting. See you all in 5 minutes. Hi, Keith. Welcome.